Oh my God, I got called again. I forgot to set my phone for do not disturb. I was too excited to get online and share with you guys this new guitar. But anyway, we were talking a little bit about this guitar and what's going on with the bridge. This is a tremolo, and it would work if I put the bar on it, but I never use the tremolo. I fucked up and forgot to turn on the do not disturb thing. Sorry, folks. So we were talking about this guitar and what's going on with the bridge. We live here. We live here? Yeah, we are live. How's it going, Hayes? So I forgot about this. It is a tremolo. I won't be keeping it like that. You can see that the break angle across the bridge is particularly low. So I expect there to be some tonal ramifications to changing it to a full wraparound, just kind of tucking underneath here from behind, just like that. But this is the way the guitar came. I'll probably, for shits and giggles, put the bar on there and see whether or not, A, it stays in tune, and B, whether or not I like having that on there. It does sound just dynamite the way it is, so I don't really have any problems. All I needed to do was grab a flathead screwdriver and put it in here and try to deck it, basically. The guy who bought it from me, hi Eric, how's it going? The guy I bought it from, I think, had it set up maybe for slide or something like that, which, by the way, even in its current configuration, it still sounds pretty good. I mean, if we do that, I'll just use the loop I have. Not really my thing, but the song. Just learned it this morning. Super fun. Part 2 of our lesson that we were talking about on how to, what I've done more for you that your man has ever done. Really, he don't give you none or something like that. So enjoying my second latte and just about done. Unfortunately, my son, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, my son came home from college. Unfortunately, he goes to school outside the country. And so he's had an abundance of need to catch up with his doctors. So every single he's had to go to his dermatologist, his TMJ specialist, his that, all this crap that throughout the year he maintains, but only when he comes home, and he's only home for 3 weeks. So it's just all I'm doing is fielding this kid's medical stuff for the last couple of days. So I mean, I'm happy to have him home. Oh, it's so nice when that first kid of yours goes away. It devastated me. I just was absolutely. I didn't realize how I thought I was immune to all that shit, and then I ended up getting the best job of my life, which was raising my 2 sons for 12 years. I stayed at home with my boys, and I did some work, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like it used to be, and it isn't like it is now. It wasn't like it is now, where I'm teaching a lot more. And so those guys were my life, those 2 boys, and to see them come back to me as men it's just been an amazing thing. To see my attributes and my liabilities kind of manifest. So the chickens have come home to roost, so to speak. But I still am having to deal with. Yeah, they can play. Yeah, they can play. Michael. So guys, I'm so sorry about that interruption there. That was his. My son has, unfortunately, he's a woke joke in that he's got peanut allergies that are absolutely life-threatening. So. It's coming from an asshole that before my son with peanut allergies came out, I used to drive around thinking, well, if somebody can't survive eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, then they deserve to die. Talk about a moment of growth when you come up to loving something more or somebody more than you love yourself, and then you realize that you've said stuff like that in the past, and you realize what an imbecile I was being. Jesus, it'll really teach you reflection and compassion and things that I wouldn't have thought it would have taken me 36 years to learn, but it did. I was cruel. I wasn't a good person. Those children really changed me a lot. And I don't know whether or not that's present in my music, but I definitely think there's an element of me that a lot of people don't know, that I grew up kind of like a mean bully, and then I realized how awful I had been. And my whole life, since that moment of kind of realizing that I was nasty, I kind of did the thing. He ain't give you none. That's the song. Yeah, see, leave it to Hayes Moss to know what the fuck's going on. I just heard the song for the first time this morning. Great song. I had no idea. Van Morrison. It's a Van Morrison song, if anybody doesn't know. But the Garcia Band does it in their own inimitable way, and has been doing it apparently since the 70s with Legion of Mary. So, but great tune. Those melodic sweeps are Jerry's signatures. I'm not sure what melodic sweeps you're talking about, but I'm doing everything I can to kind of tease out the Jerry-ness in my playing. There's a lot of those kind of using that super happy suspended sound into the third a lot, and then every now and again kind of doing those little suspensions are really quite key in this song. So we kind of dealt with that. David, hi, good morning. First of all, thanks for all my videos. You're very welcome. Question, what did you say? You were to be playing Dead songs in a trio. What would my first thoughts be on the amount of delay I'd use? I would not use it during the rhythm parts, and I would save it for the lead parts, and I'm going for all this delay because I'm in a JGB kind of mode right now. I think it's too much. I mean, aesthetically, to me, it's like going to a restaurant where they just put too much fucking sauce on something. To me, it's just too much sauce. It's kind of swimming in gravy. I'd prefer to have it kind of on the side. So I'm a control freak. Literally, the name of my my production company is Control Enthusiast, because I'm not a control freak, I'm a control enthusiast. That's how much I want to control the universe around me. Okay, so look out if you're ever in a band with me. All right, now that said, you can tell, like, I've definitely relinquished that, but that's my joke about myself. I'm trying to be self-aware, but I would tend to want less delay than Garcia uses in this setting, but I'm trying to be like kind of on brand. But every time I hear it like sounding like his, I turn it down. I'm like, it's just so much. Oh, so my taste is a little different than that of my mentors. I tend to prefer a little bit less high end in the regeneration. So Garcia by the 80s was, you know, in like this awakening of the digital gear, you know, community. And what people had yet to realize was that all the fidelity that was present in the delay circuits of the day when he shifted to the digital delays that were available. So those stadium shows and stuff like that, that's like a rack mounted delay is my understanding. The fidelity is so astounding that the crispness of his attack was quickly echoed by the crispness of the repeat. And so, unless you're trying to create a situation where you're kind of creating a false doubling thing like Brian May would do, where he would get the exact sound to reproduce so he could harmonize with it a quarter of a beat, a quarter note later, which was really clever of him, astrophysicist he is. The idea would be that, to me, it gets in the way of what I'm playing. So I like delays that kind of duck back out of the way and kind of form what I think of as like a pillowy cloud effect behind me. And so this is I've rolled off the treble on the repeats. They're still pretty bright, but you can hear that as they fade, they get darker. So each time it shaves off more and more. And then you're allowed to actually, on my Kemper, you're allowed to add like a smearing, like kind of like a graininess to it, where it kind of, like much like making a copy of something, it gets more and more distorted and kind of mangled a little bit. And that's a way of adding kind of a little bit of haze behind the sound. And I've definitely utilized that. So you can see how my sound doesn't have quite the same competition with its own echo. And so I would look into making sure that your delay choices don't step on what it is you're actually bringing to the table. A 3-piece Grateful Dead thing is a tall order, though. There is a lot of need for a 4th and 5th member, if you ask me, if you want it to sound right. I think it's kind of like having a BLT sandwich without the lettuce or the tomato. All right, you're going to need to have those. There are only 5 pieces required. Get the 5 pieces. It's significantly better. It's significantly better. Now, do I like 4-piece jam bands? Absolutely. I think Goose and Fish both have dynamite, far less clutter, and each player is allowed to kind of sprawl a lot more. You look at the way Page can like really grab up a lot of turf, you know. These are P90s. These are P90s. Let me answer your question. This is an original SG Special from I think it was built in '64 and finished in '65. So it has the playing the equipment. So it's like nickel hardware package, Brazilian rosewood, the nicer stuff, the wider neck. Hey Hayes, that's so good. I'm glad you saw. I'm glad. So yeah. So Hayes is a student of mine and a friend, and was saying that he just saw Goose in Oregon, I guess. Rick is one hell of a guitar player, and that band has some great musicianship, and it's only a 4-piece. So circling back to how much delay, Rick used a ton of delay. Unfortunately, my Jackie boy, here he is. Hey, how's it going, Johnny? Johnny Cola. He's saying lots to learn from Beyond Guitar. Always cool to learn personal upbringing stuff about. Oh yeah. Look, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't use this this window to the internet, the infinite population here, to blab on about myself personally, but I don't know. I'm long-winded and open-hearted, so it's a dangerous combination. So the idea of using a lot of delay, you want to use it for a reason, not just have it always on making noise. I think that that's a recipe for a muddy a muddy presentation. I tend to prefer to hear what's going on, though I almost always have some delay on, even if it's just like a quick repeat or something like that. Okay, thanks guys, I appreciate. So happy with my new guitar. Sorry that the earlier broadcast was clipped short. I wanted to say goodbye to everybody and be sweet. And I'm not saying goodbye for good, though I am going to be, like I said earlier in that other thing, migrating away from the office hours model here, and kind of I'll be offering the same kind of service and stuff like that, but I'm kind of getting a little flustered from the amount of noise I'm getting in my comments section and DMs and stuff like that about the fact that I like recently was kind of set off by some guy busting me up about selling my tablature, or there was some guy who went and plagiarized one of my solos and put it up on his Instagram, got thousands of hits and stuff like that, didn't credit me, and it's just kind of annoying. So I'm just kind of I'm making the shift to kind of like a paywall situation where the subscription, it should be somewhat nominal. If you're a student of mine right now, you'll actually be saving money, and if you're not, well, you don't have to use the new service. You can, goodness knows there's enough of me recorded out there for free for anybody who is financially in trouble. But I will be offering much more of my time online, and so there will be classes and licks of the week and seminars and 2 live streams every week. So my business partner and I are designing a curriculum right now. So I'm obviously up for hearing what anybody else thinks would be meaningful. Most classes will be offered in beginner, medium, and advanced level. And that is, I think, a blessing for a lot of folks, because when I come on here, I just kind of chat Thank you very much. I agree with you, Hayes. I thought that I had already, I know I've paid my dues, but I also feel like I've also been given more than I could ever use in life. And so I feel like it's fine to pay it forward. That said, I can't just give away all of my time and my life to people. And so at this point, the amount of folks that want to study with me is exceeding the amount of time that I actually have to give effectively. So what I plan to do is lower the price of, if you want to go individual lessons, things are going to probably stay the same. But I definitely will be doing these kinds of things. Tabs equals food. Well, yeah, if I relied on the income from my tab sales to feed myself, there's no way. My sons eat like fucking pigs. It's ridiculous. I'm talking just like how we went through $600 worth of food in a weekend. Now, granted, we had a couple of friends over, but they were kind of, my boys, they're competitive athletes. So they come home and they swim 7,000 yards a pop. Motherfucker, it's crazy. I don't know. They look like little superheroes. It's crazy. So look, I love my sons and my family and my life and my music, and I'm really happy. And I hope that you guys will consider coming aboard. I'd like to feel everybody out. Right now, we're looking at, like I said, kind of a lick of the week, and then like a little contest to see who actually does the best work. And it'll be like a community, and it would be something I think that could be kind of special. And it's not unique. There are other people that do this kind of thing, but if I'm being honest, I having looked at who else is doing this in this space and the rates that they're charging, I think that I can do a lot better. And it's not because I think they're charging too much. It's because I think they're not giving enough, to be honest. I think they don't have, they're younger or less experienced, or I'm not trying to toot my own horn. They're just not as well-rounded and experienced as I am. And I think I'm a very, very, I deserve to be compensated in some way, But I mean, again, it's not like a get rich quick scheme. I guarantee you, it's not like it's literally the only thing I know about. So I might as well try to do something with it. And so far, the feedback I've gotten, other than these two dingleberries giving me a hard time for charging a measly $12 for some tabs that I paid hundreds of dollars to have done. Oh my God, jerk. So I mean, anyway, my pleasure to teach everybody over the years, and I still will be offering private lessons, but hopefully you won't actually need to go in at $100 a pop for a lesson that probably you aren't able to digest entirely by the time I see you next. And then you end up with all this kind of leftover stuff that's happening where you get a lesson, you only learn like one or two little licks out of it. I think it'd be better if it was more gradual and constant, and you could tune in whenever you wanted. You could, if you have half an hour, you tune in. There's already pre-recorded stuff. And then there are live lectures every week and classes that you could join. And now granted, you might get a little less attention than you do when you're in a private lesson. But if you needed to have a one-off lesson, we could do that. Or I'll probably will have to end up ultimately granting small, like 10-minute little things like that, where I work from like literally office hours. But I think it would be a nice thing to be at the helm of a community of dedicated, and I don't mean grateful dedicated, I mean literally interested musicians who want to further their craft on the guitar and see me as somebody that could help them in that way. And that's pretty much how I've behaved for the last 5 years online. So anyway, this was I sold a couple of guitars over the last couple of years, and I've been stockpiling that, plus with some box tops that I saved up from teaching, and picked this bad boy up. Super happy. Celebrated my 20th anniversary. There's no part of me that's afraid of commitment, and I am committed to the thought of communicating and sharing what I know with you guys. Many good guitarists do this format. Check out Scott Paul Johnson, how he does it with Patreon. So I think Patreon, it seems more like the professor does stuff like, hey, how's it going? Does more like pre-recorded, and you can download stuff and buy for a membership. I'm interested in actually having more of a school where there are daily classes and stuff like that. Just rather than me teaching individuals for 7 hours a day, which is happening 4 days a week, it's actually kind of a lot. Actually, I'm down here in here most of the day, and it's wonderful. But I was thinking that I could maybe teach more than one person, and so the idea of having a class or something like that would be nice. Now let's see about this. I was able to apply melodic minor to a guitar solo and integrate it into a melody. That's dynamite. You can teach me sometime, because that is one of my weak spots. I am not somebody to talk about himself in some sort of impenetrable force of knowledge. I actually have a lot of blind spots that I have to work on, but I'm so amused by the things that I can do with the music that I love that I spend most of my time gratifying that and not studying. So perhaps by being removed from teaching 7 hours a day, I can actually step out and actually start studying myself again and have more to offer. All right, what time is it? I've got a 10 o'clock I've got to get ready for. I've got 15 more minutes. Does anybody have any questions about about anything that they think I might have some inkling? By the way, it's getting really sweaty down here. Give me a second. I've got to turn on my air conditioner. It's 87 degrees outside today in New York, folks. So it's time to crank up your AC units and let the smell of human excrement begin under the ground. Oh boy, it is quite... Let the biomass begin. All right. So, yep. What, anybody got anything to say other than, hey, you charge too much for your tabs? Fucking jerk. Anyway. I am not used to having so much upper fret access. It's kind of like I feel like a kid with a new toy. I'm going to be abusing these last couple of frets. I don't know how. It's so high. I think. What is that? I didn't understand. Was there a question asked that I didn't see? Michael is saying PayPal, I think. Oh, what format do I use for payment? Oh, yeah. I do get paid via PayPal. If you just find, I'm going to be under a name that you probably won't recognize. It'll be my given birth name of William John Devine III. Mwaha. Sounds like I should be wearing a monocle and some sort of Monopoly Man mustache, but just an Irish guy with some Basque blood. So if you want to get drunk and make pipe bombs, I'm your boy. All right, so look, this "He Don't Give You None" song, really not that terrifying. It's just a simple blues that starts on the 4 chord, but it's not bluesy. It's weird. It's like very, very. I should wear a monocle as I could pull it off easily. All right, let's see about. Anyway, yeah, I've often thought about taking on a severe affectation, like walking with a cane with a large crystal ball at the end of it or something. We should not joke about that. But anyway, does it sound too broken up, this guitar, or does it sound clear though? I'm kind of liking it. I'm super happy with it. I mean, considering that literally you're hearing, whatever you're hearing is coming out of the same speaker that I'm hearing it in. It's not like there's some way into the phone. This is my telephone. I'm actually gonna regroup, and rather than buying some guitars, I think I might have to just finally bone up and actually buy some gear that'll actually enable me to do like a proper, like podcasty kind of quality thing if I'm going to do this school thing. But the idea of getting together with you guys, this is what, 19 people? Imagine if it was like this, but it was yours and you'd be able to come and get affectation in New York. God forbid. Look, I mean, I live in what I can only fucking describe as a Star Wars bar. My neighborhood in New York is so eclectic. It is absolutely. I don't know how I got outflanked by my own political party. I grew up very blue, very hippy dippy, like whatever marriage, man, forget about it. The institution is a lie. Like everything, like, oh, consciousness is a fucking dream. Everything, ridiculous. I was a very, very out there person and very open-minded, and I still am. But then, I mean, it's not just the fact that everybody is cross-dressing in my neighborhood. Whatever. I don't really care about that so much. It's actually more the fact that they're not paying attention. New York used to be full of fucking edgy, smart, I'm on the fucking ball people. Now it's filled with a bunch of like kind of pudgy wimps that are like all looking at phones and aren't like they pretend like there's nothing else around them. Like they think that they're living in some huge bouncy ball that protects them from the universe. And it's annoying to watch people sit there and constantly kind of foist their own protection on you. Like they walk through crowds like there's nobody else walking through the crowd. They walk across the street like they just got their own like soundtrack going on, and there's all headphone people, and it's like so annoying. And they're all just ready to scream at anybody that tells them like, hey, get your head out of your ass, like this is ridiculous, like I don't know. I'm getting old. It is official. Like the times have changed and I have stayed put. Something weird happened, and I am no longer that freakishly progressive person that I once was. All right, look, children, eat your veggies, play your arpeggios. They're the best thing for you, okay? Maybe 1 or 2 little scale tones. That's really all you need to make delicious music, okay? Double parking self-involved mums. Well, of double parking. It's more people that are literally determined to, I mean, these people will drive the wrong way up the street on a city bike, or they just expect you to be looking out for, you're going to look out for me. Whee! And it's just like, no, this is New York, baby. Like, get your ass out of your head out of your ass. Any tips on practicing arpeggios? Yeah, use a metronome and start slow, super slow. All right. Put on just a drone, like boom, 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 and think. All right, then start maybe in smaller sequences. So I'm not saying we don't use any scale tones. I'm just saying don't play scales. Don't go. I mean, I can't even play a scale straight down without monkeying with it, right? I started out going, and pretty soon I started sequencing it. You have to learn how to hide the alphabet and make words. It can't be just going like going. I mean, every now and then you can go just like a little lead up to a note that you're doing, okay? Kind of like a penalty kick where you gain momentum and then hit the shot into the goal, like that kind of thing. That totally fine. But generally speaking, you want to use this scale as the building blocks for statements that you make, not make the scale the statement that you make. No good. All right. So the way I practice things is I usually will try to find a form. Like recent students will probably remember this. Okay, that's me playing an A arpeggio. And the point of this arpeggio is actually to cover a lot of ground, okay? This shape is not the most efficient one, but it has this glissy slide sound to it. So we can break out halfway through it. And start mixing it in with some licks and ideas pretty quickly. And that lick is giving you PTSD. Are you, Nick, I don't recognize you. Are you a current student, or you just have seen me use that already? Or when you say PTSD, it really is upsetting you? Good morning, how are you, sir? So for me, like taking something simple like that and breaking it into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so maybe you take a song that you know only too well, and you break it apart into like an arpeggiatic study, like Hotel California, where you're going like. Like that kind of thing. You played it a million times. Oh, Nick Kellogg. That's who you are. Okay. Nick, there's nothing else to see. There's nothing. Yes, you played. Yes, so Nick is, in fact, a recent student. All right. So, look, guys, I do have to jet. I got 4 minutes to make it to my next lesson here. But, yeah, folks, I'm hoping everybody will stay in touch, and I'll probably be sending out information about how to sign up for the school. We'll be back to school in September. All right, is probably what I hope to do. It depends largely on this construction project here and whether or not I actually have a space to teach from. I may be displaced for a while they're doing the work, and that will be upsetting to me. But if that is the case, then I will simply have to find another solution. So look, it's with a lot of love in my heart that I want to. You're probably going to buy tabs when I don't have. Yeah. Well, look, I'm not trying to. I wasn't. The truth is, I should never actually share my frustration with the world, because I only end up looking like an asshole. But the truth is, The truth is, I'm not an asshole. The truth is, I actually have done a pretty good thing here by trying to like make myself available, share a lot of what I know. I think it's not like it didn't take time and energy and effort to become this. So I can post a week. I don't know what that says. $12 for a tab is valid. Well, considering that they were $100 a piece to make, if I sold 10 of them, I made a whole whopping $2 or $20. I don't think I've sold 10, maybe a couple of them have probably amortized across the entirety of the things I paid for, but no. So, I mean, it takes a while to recoup. I just did it because there were so many people asking for them. And then to have somebody come and tell me, hundreds of people telling me, hey, I want to buy tabs from you. So I went and got it done against my wishes, mainly so I stopped being harangued by people who I wanted to help. Where's the sign-up sheet? Oh, you mean for snack school? I mean, I'm talking. This was me on a conference call yesterday, thinking about doing this. The truth is, I've been talking about this with a business partner of mine for a long time. I mean, the guy who I want to partner with, I've been talking to about this for a long time. There's been some other people that have come out of the woodwork and talked to me about, and I think that they're interesting and they have some interesting ideas, but I don't know whether or not I could implement what they want to do right away. And I wouldn't rule out working with them in the future, but I would have to see something a little bit more concrete. This is something that I know I can get my arms around. It's just like, hey, it's like a day job in my basement, but rather than coming online and going off into the universe to YouTube, and it would be that there would be, these lessons would be recorded and available, and they'd be more structured, and there would be like a content one and then a Q&A at the end of the week. And that way there's like an arc to your learning with an opportunity for individual classes in the middle of the week at beginner, medium, and advanced levels. And that way every week we kind of are going through something. So rather than it being this haphazard thing, there's like kind of a systematic arc to being exposed to something, having classes on it, and then a review session. And then there's going to be like a scoreboard where, kind of like my wife's Peloton thing, where there's going to be people who hopefully will share within the community, and you'll be able to get to know each other as well, like getting to know classmates. Maybe you've got friends that live in the same city as you that are that you find through me, which would be an amazing thing to be the central source for that kind of thing. And I mean, it's something that people have talked to me about a lot, and I just am too technophobic about it. So recently, about three people have talked to me about it, and I got to kind of figure out who I'm going to go forward with. But I think I'm definitely going to do something, because it sounds like too much fun, and I'm already doing the work anyway. I might as well do it. So I need to do it. Thank you, Hayes. I appreciate the vote of confidence, and like I said, I probably will. But I wanted to expose folks to the idea, and to kind of take the temperature of the room, see how people feel about it. All right, listen, I better go. I don't want to be late for my 10. All right, love you all, and I'll see you soon. And yay, the fun, huh? All right. Anyway, take care, everybody. Bye bye.